Look, how would you like it if you were out there on the road and you had nothing to do but just walk? You're just walking from A to B. That's all you have to do. Just do that. And something's going to happen to you that you can't believe right now, but it's going to be something that you suddenly say, wow, this is my life. I mean, I'm in my life right now, and all I've got to do is walk from here to the next place and stop at a place and have a cappuccino, and that's all part of it. And that's okay.
Highly profound thing.
It showed us the essentials of life, kind of.
We got time to slow down and really appreciate our lives.
I miss the freedom of it. I miss just, the open road.
And there was a lot of talking, a lot of bonding, a lot of walking.
We found what to live off of. We didn't have anything. We didn't have TV. We had each other. We had the open road.
The gift of time,
We had, the beauty of nature.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all we really needed.
Yeah, the luxuries of life are gone.
Yeah.
No
That's
showers.
where we found happiness, man. Not till you give it all up.
Yeah.
You find true happiness.
That's why I'm glad I went at a certain point in time where I was still young.
I was terrified to go on the walk, I really was.
Not as mature.
Being actually on my own for the first time.
And it helped guide me a little bit better, helped me understand what I wanted.
I was the only one crying at the airport to go on the trip.
And it's going to help me for the rest of my life.
And then at the end of the trip, I was crying because I didn't even want to come home. I just did a big circle. I started off crying and then I ended crying.
I never felt pure happiness in that instant moment until I went on the walk.
So it's something I could never forget.
First of all, the program is special simply because of its nature. It's completely unique to this university. There's nothing else like it in the United States.
The walk did open my eyes to that world outside of what I was used to, the United States.
I wouldn't say it steps away from intellectual knowledge, but there's more focus on emotional aspects, on spiritual aspects, on things that are not often contextualized in a classroom. And I think this is, I wouldn't like to believe that the intellect is so much greater than the heart, but I think if I'm going to use that metaphor, the walk's heart and the classroom's head.
The walk taught me so much that high school, no book could ever teach you. It taught you about humanity.
To talk to an actual French person who lives in a small town is completely priceless, as opposed to just reading about the French government in a history book somewhere.
It was a teaching through experience, a physical, both emotionally, physically, the pain of walking every day, the blisters in the feet, the waking up early, the no time to rest. It was the experience, the people, the hospitality, you found that kindness in people that, in a time in the world as portrayed in the media where all you see is war and you think everything's lost and everybody hates each other, everybody hates the Americans. I went over there and I was shocked. Almost like the stereotypes were broken. The chains were lifted. I went over there and they loved us. The hospitality blew my mind.
I guess I found out just, things that meant the most to me. Like Bob said, we had a lot of time to think. We had a lot of time. And if you ever walked by yourself, you had literally the entire day with you and yourself and your thoughts, And that's a long time. So you can't help but, think about your life, work things out.
Or you can really pay attention to other people's problems. These are things that come about almost naturally. I've walked with people many a time, and I don't have an agenda. I don't think that person had an agenda I want to know this person's saddest moment in their life and how that affected them and how that still hurts them. But it just seems to kind of come out naturally.
We were all so riled up still off adrenaline. We climbed that huge mountain. It was such a great day for all of us. And it was kind of a day that, we were really close that day. We were all kayaking, it was a good day for all of us. And we come back, having an awesome night, And we just started talking, and we're talking about loss and just talking about our past, kind of bringing it out. And we ended up leading into just, talking about pretty much everything, just getting everything out, everything that we wanted to get out. And this was like a whole nother way of expressing myself, and it was great to have people sit there and listen. And it was something I really needed, and it was very comforting, and it was, it helped me out a lot.
I think it's something that will always be part of my consciousness, part of something that I'm always thinking about. I mean, not to make it too melodramatic, but when I'm on my the deathbed or whatever, the walk is something that I can really think about and be like, yeah, I truly lived, and I think that that's been the walk for me.
I'll do a little introduction on this book. This is The Walk of the Conscious Ants, and this is by Taylor Morse Sr. He was the founder of the walk. He led the first walk in 1969. They walked from Franklin Pierce to Nova Scotia, 600-mile walk, 6 weeks, and this is the book that came after. They walked for 40 days. Their aim, not to climb every mountain peak, nor study leaves, nor bird watch, not to follow the Appalachian Trail, nor make a study of New England towns, but to walk, and to learn whatever there was to be learned along the way. The idea was ages old, the basis of any real education. Not a knowledge of chemistry or literature, but a knowledge of oneself. They learned a lot about themselves, as students, as men and women, as Americans.
The Pierce Walk across Europe takes university students on 3.5-month-long walks through various countries in Europe. Groups of between 15 and 30 students, along with their faculty leader and assistants, walk an average of 15 miles a day and live outdoors together, sleeping under a small circus tent and traveling a route they create as they go. They stick to backcountry roads and paths and knock on doors to ask people if they can camp for one night on their land. When asked, most landowners welcome the students to stay as their guests, and often the campsite provided is a farmer's field or pasture or someone's backyard. The walk begins a month before the group leaves America in an intense summer session of classes and workshops held at Franklin Pierce University, the home of this unique study abroad program. During the summer session, students prepare for the walk and learn some basic foreign language skills. Once in Europe, the group rents a cargo van to carry their equipment, tent, and luggage, making it possible for them to spend their long walking days carrying only a day pack and drinking water. 5 or 6 times during the duration of the 100-day trip, students and their leaders in groups of 2 or 3 take turns being on what's called van team for a day. The van team is responsible for taking care of the group's needs by mapping out the next day's walking route, shopping for food and other group needs, setting up the tent, and preparing the group meals. The first Pierce Walk happened in 1969, and since then, 27 trips have embarked from Rindge, New Hampshire, where Franklin Pierce University is located, and where now retired English professor Taylor Morris created and directed the program for many years. Alumni from 4 decades count the walk as among the best experiences of their lives.
Well, you think of education, what does it do, what should it do? And you think happiness has nothing to do with it. But these kids are happy, and maybe happy for the first time in their lives, and realizing it and able to even speak about it. And you think, that's worth something. And you don't get your BA for that, but worth more maybe,